I don't kid. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we please start with the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay.
Your right hand on your chest. Ready? Go. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Can we please get a roll call?
Director Quading.
Here.
Director McMillan.
Here.
Director Pacala.
Yes.
Director Robert.
Yes.
Director Avila.
Thank you. Hey, up next, do we have members of the public?
We don't have anyone in the room. We do have some folks online.
Hey, this portion of the agenda may be utilized by any member of the public to address the board of directors on any matter within the jurisdiction of the board that does not appear on the agenda and on matters that are on the agenda but are not designated as action items. Depending on the subject matter, the board of directors may be unable to respond at this time or until the specific topic is placed on the agenda at a future Calleguas board meeting. In accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act, please limit remarks to 3 minutes. If you would like to speak, make public comment, please raise your hand. Do we have any raised hands?
I don't see any raised hands.
Okay, we do not have any raised hands. We are moving on to item 3, items to be added to the agenda. Do we have items to be added to the agenda?
No items.
No items to be added to the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
Right. Item 5 is presentation, no presentations. Item 6 is consent calendar. Would anyone like to pull anything? Consent calendar? Okay, or looking for a motion?
So moved.
Is this for agenda?
Consent calendar?
I have a few questions, sorry. David.
Okay, go ahead.
Item 6B and item 6C.
Okay. Go ahead, kick it off with 6B, Director Pacala.
Well, as you can see, this is a right of acquisition. A lot of paperwork, good job, lots of detailed survey. My question is, this particular item covers 3 right of acquisitions, but we need total of 10.
That's correct.
So how are the other remaining acquisitions or right of acquisitions going?
We are in constant communications with the underlying property owners. They've been very responsive, and some of the challenges that some of these property owners have is there's multiple owners, and some of them don't live nearby, and they're all family relatives, and trying to get all the signatures and agreements, it takes some time. But progress is being made on those pending easements, and we are anticipating bringing those items to the board at a later date.
Yeah. So you don't expect any glitches, and once we award the contract, it will not impact our construction schedule because we don't have any right away. You don't expect that to happen.
At the progress of the conversations we're having with the pending property owners, we do not anticipate impacts to our construction schedule.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I brought it up is that my experience in the past is if we delay the contract, it's going to cost more in the change orders. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with your acquisition process you're going through.
Yeah, that's a good point, Director Pacala. For that reason, when we opened bids, we gave ourselves that 60 calendar days to be able to come back to the board and award the contract. And we are close to coming back to the board for that recommendation to award the contract for construction.
Saw that. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, the next question.
Okay.
This is a standard contract, I understand. You go through the normal state contracting process. Fiscal year 25-26, you state what the per gallon cost for unleaded and diesel, like $3.94 and $3.89 for fiscal year 25-26. My question is, what would be the cost coming fiscal year per gallon?
So those costs constantly fluctuate. right? So it's a commodity. So we get those averages as it goes on. So we're not quite sure what those fixed costs are going to be. We usually pay somewhere between 40 to 60 cents a gallon less.
Or less.
Less than what someone must be paying at like a gas station out in the real world.
Yeah. And then for the diesel, because it's used for generators, it's off-road, so we pay less on that as well.
Yeah. So the reason you are able to show in the staff report is you already have experience this year, so you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Correct.
Understand? Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Actually,
That's all I have.
since this is an action item, do we have, would any member of the public like to make a comment on the consent calendar? Members of the public, please raise your hand if you'd like to speak on the consent calendar. Okay, looking for a motion.
So moved.
We have a first, Director McMillan, and a second, Director Pacala?
Yes.
Yes, okay, let's take the vote, please.
Director Quady,
Aye.
Director McMillan. Yes. Director Pacala,
Yes.
Director Robert,
Yes.
Director Avila.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Up next, we have the action items. First action item is public hearing and discussion regarding adoption of proposed resolution number 2131, establishing rates and regulation water service resolution number 2132, establishing rates for discharge to the SMP, and resolution 2133, adjusting fees for annexation. Dan Smith.
Good evening, Director. So tonight we're here to hold the public hearing to adopt the rates. I didn't really do a presentation because we went through it extensively 2 months ago, but when we set the public hearing date, we've gotten no comments from any purveyor or anybody in the public when we did advertise. So we did do our due diligence and get it out there, and we have talked to the purveyors about it directly with them at their purveyor meeting, and we still received no comments. So with that, today we're looking to get the board to approve those 3 resolutions, setting the rates for the 2027 calendar year. And I'm available if there's any additional questions.
We've reviewed them 3 times, but I'm sure we have questions.
Well, I just had a simple question. It's very straightforward. We already approved the budget. You're just adopting to be part of our ordinances. 2 of the resolutions, in the staff report, you show what the rates would be for tier 1, for water, and also for SMP, for the first 2 resolutions. The 3rd resolution is for annexation fee, correct?
Correct.
So it does not show what the rate is. It refers to some other place. I didn't know where to go to look for it.
The rate is in the resolution.
Is in the resolution?
It is, it's just one little line. So the other 2 resolutions have this big old appendix to it, but the annexation has the dollar amount written into the resolution itself.
Is there? Okay. All right, I missed it.
Because it's just one number.
Okay.
So we didn't do a whole.
$1,603 per acre. It's annexation.
Okay, great. Sorry.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dan. All right, would any,
You'd have to open the public hearing.
okay, at this point, I would like to open the public hearing. And we are open for comments. Would any member of the public like to make comments on item 7A? Okay, I see no raised hands. I am closing the public hearing and looking for a motion. So move. We have a first. Second. And a second. Okay,
Share the love.
roll call please.
Director Quady.
Aye.
Director McMillan. Yes. Director Pacala.
Yes.
Director Robert.
Yes.
Director Avila.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Okay, 7B, discussion regarding Southern California Regional Water Authority, JPA.
Yes, this one is me. And so I've got a little presentation for the board, just briefly to kind of explain what this is and why staff is recommending it. I will be talking tonight about the Southern California Regional Water Authority Joint Powers Authority. I'm mostly just going to say JPA because that is too long. So the reason that I am bringing this to the board tonight is that there are several agencies, which I have listed on the next slide, who are interested in forming a JPA to facilitate cost sharing and decision making for potential regional water supply reliability and resilience projects. Some of the concepts that would potentially be pursued by this JPA would it be joint planning efforts, emergency preparedness, water use efficiency and conservation, interconnections, exchanges, groundwater storage and banking, stormwater capture, water recycling, brackish groundwater desalting, and seawater desalination, both conventional and innovative. So pretty much the whole spectrum of options that are available to us.
For grants. Also for regional grants.
Yes, it absolutely could be used in that way. Thus far, the JPA has 2 agencies that have joined it, Las Virgenes and West Basin. There are another 5 agencies besides Calleguas that have expressed interest. Burbank Water and Power, LA County Waterworks District 29, which serves the Malibu area, LADWP, obviously a large one there, Santa Clarita Valley Water Agency, and Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District. Burbank, LAWP, and Upper San Gabriel are Met member agencies. SCB Water is a state water project contractor and an agency that we have been sharing tours with lately at Met. In this case, their staff has expressed interest in joining. Some of these agencies have a longer, more robust and complicated process to go through before they could successfully join a JPA just because of the nature of their organizations. The agreement does provide flexibility for additional participants to join later. And then the way it's structured, members could opt in or out of particular efforts. So say that, Burbank and LA want to collaborate on a project for stormwater capture. This is just a random example. It's not something that has been discussed specifically, but geographically, there's no way for, say, Calleguas and Virgenes to participate. We would just opt out, but the framework would provide a tool that enabled any kind of subset of these agencies to group together on projects, which I think is a really great structure, provides us a lot of flexibility and opportunity. JPAs have a lot of flexibility and authority. It really provides a vehicle for this multi-agency collaboration without having to enter into specific agreements for each project or each concept. And as we've talked about throughout the RIST and other efforts, collaboration and regional projects are key, provides economies of scale, projects that maybe an individual agency couldn't pursue on their own, but a subset of us could, or all of us could. It is consistent with the strategic priorities from our current strategic plan. I know we're in the process of updating, but I don't suspect that we will get away from our principles of delivering reliable service, improving resilience, and providing regional leadership. I think those are pretty enduring concepts for us. It is compatible with the RIST, particularly the regional exchange opportunities, as well as multi-jurisdictional funding, as Director McMillan noted, grant funding opportunities. Working with other agencies collaboratively has always been a very effective strategy in seeking funding, whether state or federal. It is supportive of other agencies' regional planning efforts. We did the RIST after that, LV was working on a diversification study, and other agencies are working on similar efforts. We're all being, feeling the same pressures in terms of reliability and resilience. And then this did previously go to the ENC committee, and they were supportive of joining the JPA. I know it's been a couple months now, so I forgot to mention it in the memo, but I did remember to add it to the presentation. So the recommended action from staff tonight is to authorize me to execute the agreement to join this JPA. And then if the board does choose to join the JPA, selecting a representative to the JPA would be handled under the next agenda item as we talk about committees and collateral assignments. Any questions from the board? Yes.
How will the voting be done? Does each one get a vote or?
Yes. The idea is that it would be apportioned by agency and not on any sort of percentage based on, let's say, assessed value, just as a random example.
I would just say, I think it's a fantastic direction for all water agencies, big and small, and to collaborate and to combine knowledge and experience. My only request would be that they have a member and then an alternate. And then potentially the ability for staff to also attend.
Well, staff would always be able to attend. We do want to do alternates. We've determined that that can be handled through the bylaws process. So once the JPA is formed, we'll include alternates in the by.
Didn't explicit.
It doesn't, it's not.
Assumed, since it's being formulated.
I beat you to it. I asked her.
Okay.
Get to it yesterday.
So that would absolutely be the case. It would be my recommendation that our representatives on the JPA be our board members or a board member. Just so it's cleaner from a Brown Act perspective so that that doesn't limit staff interaction.
Some of the board members very well may be staff members from the other agencies, correct?
They may be, Las Virgenes has selected Jay Lewitt to be their representative. West Basin has not yet selected their representative and the other agencies haven't yet elected to join. So it may vary. Certainly the cities often have, they don't often have staff. They often have non-city council members, just other engaged community members who are appointees. Exactly.
And then the only other question I had while looking into all this is there's I forget the term they use, but basically a primary agency that would be an authority, I think.
Yeah, the administering agency.
Administering agency. I assume most meeting locations would be at that agency's facilities.
I think it could be, the administering agency approach is something that Las Virgenes proposed based on experience they've had with their own JPA with Triumpho. They applied a lot of lessons learned here, and that administering agent role is one of them. They have also volunteered to be the administering agency, and I would be inclined to take them up on that offer.
Yeah, I think it said any of its facilities, including, meeting space and authority business, so. That seemed, and they do seem central to all the interested parties as it is, so.
We're probably less central.
Mhm.
Well, I would imagine they'd be flexible anyway.
Oh, yeah.
For JPA, I assume you could have it anywhere within the service area of any of the participating agencies.
Yeah, rotation would probably be good, but I'm sure that we could discuss that once we join.
I certainly recommend and think it's a great idea in terms of the bottom-up growth that we need in order to fire in some changes along the state level as well. So I fully concur this is important.
I am in support as well.
Would we know how many board members will be there? Is it something addressed as part of the bylaws?
Well, each agency would have one board member. That's the plan. So it ultimately depends how many agencies participate.
Voting board member, unless there's attendance from the alternate, which would then step in if the primary wouldn't be able to.
So what will be the term of each board member? Whatever the purveyor decides?
It's whatever we decide.
Whatever we decide.
Okay.
And I would recommend we put it on the cadence with everything else.
Revisit it with all the other stuff.
Yep, where it's 2 years unless after 2 years in the January after the election, unless the board wishes to discuss it sooner.
Yeah, I'm glad, I was going to ask the same question Director Robert asked is about administrator. If Las Virgenes is volunteering, that's a great thing. And as far as the cost, your staff report says minimal cost, so it's only just a staff cost?
It's staff time. I mean, there would be some money to support the administering agency's efforts because they're doing some work, but I honestly think it's going to be quite some time before we're kind of all ramped up enough to be moving. And then there would be whatever cost is associated with whatever projects we choose to pursue together.
Studies and things.
Studies and other
Yes,
things.
Yeah.
But from an administrative cost perspective, minimal.
Yeah. Your staff report clearly articulates all of the things that we could do except pure water. It doesn't say pure water.
Well,
Is it by design or-
No, I mean, it does say water recycling and it doesn't
It does say
specify.
water cycling, but
Which
not pure
could,
water.
pure water is water recycling. It doesn't specify non-potable or potable. So that's how we looked at it, was that broadly.
Okay, you consider it's part of the recycling, that's.
I do consider it to fall under that umbrella. And that list is also deliberately not limiting or exclusive.
Right.
If there's something else we haven't thought of yet, that list doesn't limit us from pursuing whatever that idea may be.
As our board member said, you said, our agency has been way ahead. We have been doing all of this stuff locally here, within our region, we have been working with everybody else. It's a great thing that we all support. I guess I support.
I'm hearing unanimous support. It gives us another tool to do things and another structure to do the things that we're already doing and the things that we wish to do in the future.
It's a larger collective of focus.
One of the major benefits I see is the transference of information happening at the board level directly, rather than board going to staff discussing with other agencies and then up to board and back. It seems more direct of the kind of hive mind, if you will.
All right, with that, if we don't have any more comments, going to go look for public comments. Okay, would any members of the public like to comment on this item? Please raise your hand. Yeah, I see no raised hands. Looking for a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a first and a second. We'll call, please.
Director Quaiding.
Aye.
Director McMillan.
Yes.
Director Hubble.
Yes.
Director Roberts. Rabila.
Aye, the motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have discussion regarding board committees, collaterals assignments, including potentially designating a rep to the governing board of Southern California Regional Water Authority, JPA.
Yes, so let's start with the committees. We had talked about this at a previous board meeting. I apologize for not remembering the exact date right now, but, and the direction that the board had given was to come back to the board with an action item for these 5 committees. Obviously the ad hoc is one would be untouched. There was a slight refinement to the name for water supply storage and partnership development. Because I think it's development of water supply, storage, and partnerships to try to make that a little bit clearer, albeit not shorter. So this is what we had previously talked about. It folds some of the functions of the Operations and Organization Committee into a new Engineering, Operations, and Technology Committee. It folds sponsorship into finance. It does not change anything about public engagement, communication, and legislative affairs. And it refines the name of the water supply one. The organization component that was part of that Operations and Organization Committee would be handled under finance to the extent that there are cost elements. And if we ever were looking at a larger scale reorganization, which isn't something I foresee, but is something that could happen, that could be handled with an ad hoc. That's a perfect application of an ad hoc committee with its limited scope and timeline. So this is what the board had asked me to come back with. And so this is what I have come back with as an action item.
All right. Are we discussing appointments now for these?
If the board wishes to move in this direction, that would be something the board would want to discuss. I'm gonna.
All right, so let's kick off that discussion.
Can I make
I
a
would.
recommendation?
I was gonna say real quick, that I would like, for this one, since we do have 5, for each one of us to chair one of the committees and then discuss the alternates, but just for balancing things out, I think that would be a good idea, and, open it up to you guys. Director Robert?
I was just gonna say, I was curious into other board members' interests in either staying or moving to different committees. It just seemed to me the ones that are being absorbed, if you were happy with the committees, they would get absorbed to the committees that they are, and then discuss if there was a change that you wanted to change, go from there, but.
Well,
Yeah, it's in the packet too.
I was going to suggest that maybe each one of us can decide if you want to rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And then see where we fall. And I know what I would like to be.
Yeah, engineering and operation. I would like, public engagement, communication.
I would note that under the admin code, as treasurer, Director McMillan would be
McMillan.
chair of the finance
As
committee.
chair of finance.
I'm happy with all my as is.
I'd like to be at least in the finance committee, whatever member at least.
Okay. So, can we share that? Can we pull that up? That way we.
Yeah, I mean, this-
Under the administrative code, the treasurer is the chair for the finance committee, so
Yeah.
it's the only other option is member. That would.
And alternate.
So everyone
And
can see it, so everyone could see it here.
This is the current
So
rules. This
currently,
doesn't reflect the revised committees.
all right, so first off, is everyone okay with Director Pacala being the chair of the Engineering and Construction Committee? Any objections?
That was one that I enjoyed that I liked, but I'm happy to be a member if you
No,
want.
no, I'll happy for him to be chair, I'll be the member.
Okay, chair member,
is fine.
is the board okay with that? Okay, up next, we
We'd
have,
also need an
alternate,
Yeah,
who would like to be the alternate? Currently, Director Quady, would you like to continue to be the alternate for that committee? Okay.
That one stays.
I'm okay with that. Finance Committee, Director McMillan, and currently we have Director Quady as the member and Director Bacala as the alternate. Director Bacala, are you okay continuing to be the alternate, or Director Quady? Do you want to continue to be the member on this one?
I'm sorry, I missed it. Which
This is
Finance.
finance.
So we are discussing whether I expressed my interest to be a member of finance committee. I'll be happy to relinquish my other side. If you're interested in like storage, chairperson, something else, that's fine.
well, I'm always
The
interested.
other committees we have.
Water supply and storage.
Yeah,
Would you like to trade with Director Pacala for water supply and storage, or would you like to continue in finance?
Water supply and storage is more my thing, but
Okay,
you can be chair, be member there.
that's perfect. So Director McMillan and Director Pacala will be the member of finance, and our alternate would be Director Quady. Would you like to be the alternate for finance, or?
fine.
Okay. Up next, we have operations and organization.
that's going away.
That's the one that's going away. We have public engagement, communication. I would like to be the chair of that one, if that's okay with everybody.
I support.
I'd still like to be a member though.
And Director McMillan, our member for this one. Our alternate currently is Director Quady. Do you guys want to continue that? Is there any other interest in being an alternate for this one?
Fine, whatever. If nobody wants to be, I will step in.
Do you want to be in it as an alternate?
I was actually kind of more interested in the water supply storage and partnership, but I think you guys were interested in that one too.
It's an alternate position, so.
I'm fine being alternate.
Right.
I'll volunteer as true.
Maybe next year we'll switch.
Okay, so we have myself as the chair, the members, Director McMillan, and the alternate is Director Robert. Up next, we have the water supply and storage and partnership development. This one, Director Quady for the chair. And who else was on this one? Director Robert?
Previously,
Or who expressed?
Quady was the member.
Bacala?
Expressed interest.
Okay, so Director Quady would be the chair, Director Bacala would be the member. And I'd like to volunteer to be the member on that, sorry, the alternate.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna ask to be alternate, but
You got the alternate on the other one.
that's fine.
Okay, and then ad hoc would be unchanged and we don't do an alt. That's, yeah, oh, we do have an alt.
I have a question about the ad hoc, the way it's written. Nobody can attend that meeting?
Yeah.
Is that by
That is
law?
not what is written. That is what the Brown Act says about ad hoc committees for legal counsel. I defer that question.
You're talking about a third member that's not a member of the committee,
The alternate.
being able to attend? Yeah, that's, either having an alternate or you talking
Having an
about a third?
We have an alternate.
person attend?
We have an alternate. The alternate just can't attend unless they're needed.
Right.
Okay.
What's the difference between that? and-
One is noticed according to one's meetings or standing committees are noticed according to the Brown Act with an agenda and publicly posted. Ad hoc committee meetings are not. So when you have more than two show up at an ad hoc that's not publicly noticed, you get three. You have an unnoticed Brown Act meeting, which is a violation. That's the issue.
Can you scroll up? Is that operations organizational committee? Can we absorb the ad hoc into the operation as an organization and do it?
Well, we're not doing, we're getting rid of the operations and organization committee.
Oh, which one is it getting absorbed into?
Engineering.
The operations is getting absorbed into engineering operations and tech.
So could theoretically, we absorb the housing into the engineering and we can check up on staff housing once a year or something? Just to make sure how everything's going?
Well, the idea was to continue the ad hoc committee through the implementation of the project.
Okay.
And then I think once the project's complete, that is when the ad hoc disbands because it is a limited scope and time.
Yeah, that is.
Well, I support the president's proposal because what's the point of having another ad hoc and have a meeting? You're already there. Just to go through the process. Once you awarded the contract, there's nothing else to do.
Well, there may be, and there were some things that were discussed. I know we haven't gotten to the committee yet.
Okay.
I do like the idea that we keep it until the end of this project, and after that, in the organizations and construction committee, we do a once a year check-in to check in on how the houses are doing.
Yeah, we could do that. Can I recap my understanding just to make sure we have this all right? Kara and I see if we have the same information and it's the same as all of your understanding.
Okay.
So finance would be Director McMillan as the chair, Director Call as the member, Director Crady as the alternate. Engineering operations and technology would be Director Robert as the chair, Director Paula as the member, and Director Quady as the alternate. Public engagement, et cetera, President Avila as the chair, Director McMillan as the member, Director Robert as the alternate. Ad hoc would stay as Director Robert as the chair, Director Avila as the member, and Director Paula as the alternate. And you're the alt. And then water supply partnership, whatever words we have in that, whatever order those words are in the final version. Director Quady is the chair, Director Bacala is the member, and Director Avila as the alternate. Is that a correct? Cool.
Is everybody happy with the assignments? Okay. Yes, all right. Moving on to the next.
Yeah, so
next
then
one.
the next thing would just be the
California Water
KPA.
Commission. Okay. I've already received interest from one board member. It's Director Robert.
Yeah,
Would anybody else interested?
Well, I was interested, but if he's interested, I won't be interested.
I'll just provide just kind of the basis of my interest in when running for Calleguas early on, 4 years ago now almost. Diversity of creativity and diversity of water storage and implementation, and the logistical strategy and all that is really kind of what drives my interest. And so when that came about, I was kind of tickled by the thought of it all. So I'm really interested in kind of seeing what we can do from a growth perspective as a region, as partners, as Southern California. I mean, I'm sure this is locally the start of something probably bigger, but it's really how we need to think. So that's the reason I was interested in it.
I completely agree. Before he called me, I saw that action and I said, this is incredible. I'm glad we're doing something like this, and I was interested in it, but I can't take everything. Share.
No, I am to him.
So I support.
I support you.
Thank you.
Is there gonna be an alternate?
I think ultimately there will. I don't see, legal counsel, can they designate an alternate now?
And it goes into effect if the JPA.
If the bylaws designate that they will have alternates.
Which it is the intention for staff.
We could at least discuss.
Yeah, why
should
I have to bring it back if
Yeah,
we're just doing it for a contingency? Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd be interested in being alternate if that's the case.
Okay.
All right, but was anybody else interested?
I think Director Fakala was interested, but maybe you two can discuss.
I'm yielding, I guess.
You have a lot.
Yes, I withdraw.
It's like, yeah, meetings to go to.
Metropolitan and GMA are the busiest ones.
No, I'm certainly interested too. That'll be much.
Okay. I support President Avila, alternate.
All right,
With the slate then, what do we do?
I believe so.
looking for a motion.
So all these committees,
Yeah.
there is one change. I'm listed as on the board of Aqua 8 representing Met.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Checked.
yes. We will get that updated. When we incorporate all these additional updates, we'll get that in there as well.
Okay, actually, we have to open up for public comments first. Would any member of the public like to comment? Please raise your hand. Okay, I see no raised hands. I'm looking for a motion. Okay, we have a first for the slate and a second. Roll call.
Director Quady?
Aye.
Director McMillan?
Yes.
Director Pacala?
Yes.
Director Robert?
Yes.
Director Avila?
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you, everybody.
We'll make sure that the minutes, I just, the organization of the committees as well as the approval of the slate.
I'm gonna go ahead and call for a 5-minute break right now, and we're gonna come back in 5 minutes. Thank you. All right, everyone, thank you for the time for the break and welcome back. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this meeting back on with reports. First up is the monthly status report, and we have a few by staff, starting with item 1.
Yes, which is me, to start us off. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the latest on the desalter study and what's been going on there. I believe we highlighted last month the kickoff workshop, and this month we moved into workshop number 1, which was really it was really well attended. We had a really engaged group of folks talking about everything, and we made some important progress. We worked through potential source waters and product water for the 6 desalter concepts that were initially developed. What we mean by that is that, for example, for some of these desalters, you have groundwater sources available, but you could also have recycled water sources available where they become an IPR or a DPR type project. And then you have all the permutations of the different sources. So we did some brainstorming on that. And then as a group, we agreed upon our preliminary screening criteria to help us qualitatively evaluate these concepts. While there's 6 primary concepts, once you start layering in all of those different source waters, you end up with a lot more concepts. I think the consultant may have told me I think they once said there was 112 once you put all the different concepts together. Now, obviously, we're going to need to screen some of these out. So we divided up into groups and worked on developing screening criteria. That photo there, you see Ian in front of a little Post-it note collection where everyone wrote down their individual ideas about what screening criteria. And then we tried to group them so that we captured the concepts that the group felt were important. And it was important that these be qualitatively evaluatable because we're talking about 100 different concepts and we're not going to be calculating costs for each of those. So where we landed was source water availability, regional impact, which is both impact in a negative sense as well as benefit in a positive sense, external stakeholder perception, and regulatory complexity. So the consultant is taking these 4 criteria. They're working through all of these concepts and sub-concepts so that when we meet at our next workshop in July, which is actually on the 15th, this is the board meeting, we can narrow them down. The goal is to narrow them down to 10. We'll see if that's achievable, but that is certainly the plan. So process continues to progress, and it's been very well received by all the study partners. So finding it really interesting and enjoyable myself.
Absolutely. Questions from Director Quady?
Yeah, the city of Palo started did some work on those roles, right?
Yes, on all of these concepts, there's been some work done to date, and we have those materials and we're using them as a starting point. But those pre-existing materials, firstly, they weren't all studied at the same level. They weren't all studied at the same time or in the same way. And those studies weren't necessarily comprehensive of all these different concepts and source waters. Los Robles is probably one of the most straightforward ones because there really aren't as many options available for it. But we do have all the studies the city has done, and the city is participating in this.
Other questions from the board?
Couple of comments or questions. So external stakeholder perception, who do we consider? Who does the group consider external? Who are the external stakeholders?
Could be really anyone, to be honest. It could be.
Other than purveyors?
Yeah, other than purveyors, it could be public, other entities, I can,
NGOs.
exactly, NGOs, public,
Legislators.
it,
You know,
golf courses. We didn't specifically discuss that, but with the way we wrote it,
ways.
When you say perception, that's a subjective thing.
it is a subjective thing, and this is a qualitative evaluation,
Yeah.
so there is a certain element of subjectivity here. I think that's unavoidable. But really, it could be anyone, whether that's the general public, NGOs, elected officials, the community. All of those factors are trying to capture in that particular criterion.
Okay. The other question I have is, we have about 20 different proponents, 20 different.
There's nine study partners, including us and the Fox Canyon GMA. So there's 7 purveyors participating. Some of the entities had more than one attendee. So I
Oh,
think
I see.
where we said 20, it's 20 people, not 20
20
agencies.
people, I was wondering.
Agencies or entities. No,
Okay.
it's 9 in total, and that includes both us and the GMA. But many had multiple representatives present.
Okay. And most of them are coming in person or by Zoom?
We did a mix. I would say it was about 2/3 in person, 1/3 Zoom. One of the improvements we made between the kickoff workshop and this one, we had someone designated online to facilitate the Zoom group, particularly as we broke into small groups, so that there was stronger and clearer participation by those who weren't able to be in the room with us.
Okay. Some of the comments I heard is, Calleguas is doing this study. What I'm telling them is Calleguas is spearheading this study so that we can all come up with a project that makes sense.
That's a
I just
perfect
want to
word for
say
it.
the comments I heard from some people. So Calleguas again doing something that they want to do on this by themselves.
And that is not at all, that's exactly why we have this series of workshops where we have
Exactly.
everyone here, is to get everyone's input on what the criteria are, what the concepts are.
Yeah.
And how to proceed.
Okay, that's all my comments.
I was just gonna say, I'm glad you clarified regional impact on the duality of that, because I'm sure as everyone's seen in the news with all these data centers and water conflicts, all that. I think it's really important that whatever we do, we take the region in consideration, not just, a narrow focused goal, but how it affects everybody. And so I think it's gonna be really important and really well received with whatever we do.
Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, thank you for this item. And up next, we have item 4, partnerships.
Great.
Charlotte?
Good evening, directors. So the title is Former Calleguas Director Steve Boyce, honored with heart and humor at dedication ceremony. As you all know, on June 19th, we held this ceremony to rename the Wellfield emergency generators as the Steve Boyce emergency generators. You'll see some photos from the event here. We have more forthcoming to you. Director McMillan, I'm sorry, I think you were a little camera shy that day. We weren't able to get a shot of you, but you will. Oh, I know. Well, then we do have a shot of you. Among the photos, you'll also see on the bottom Director Peterson apparently bringing down the house with a remark that made both Christine and Supervisor Lopez chuckle. He was very entertaining. And as it says, this was the first event ever held at the Wellfield Emergency Generators. Somehow it transformed very nicely into an event space that worked. And I really want to emphasize the multi-department coordination that took place over the course of 3 months to plan this event. Everyone who helped is listed in the MSR. Many are in this room, but it took a lot of people to help put this on, and certainly want to recognize them. In particular, the other half of external affairs, Kat Arrett, she was absolutely phenomenal as usual planning the event. Her vision and creativity and just execution in partnership with myself just really put it over the top. She's just fantastic. So everybody, thank you so much. And let's see, some of the feedback we received afterwards was very nice. The first one from Supervisor Lopez's office said she was so glad she'd be part of such a meaningful event. Senator Stern's staff said it was a beautiful ceremony. Thank you for the invite. And Governor Newsom's staff member said he had a great time participating in the event. Also today, we got a very nice email from Jim Blois saying that he was so thankful for the event and it was a very nice tribute to Steve. So I want to thank the board, all of you for participating, our board president for serving as MC. And I really want to thank our general manager as well for giving external affairs the space and the tools needed to execute a vision in a space that isn't typically used for events. Appreciate you seeing that vision with us and just supporting us all the way through. So I hope you all enjoyed the event and that is my report. Thank you.
Incredible event.
Thank you.
The team did a really good job. Everything was set up perfect. I couldn't have imagined anything better than what you guys did. So thank you and thank Kat for us and it was beautiful. Questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, it was a great event. When I was reading the staff report, you listed everybody's name who volunteered.
Yes.
So many of you have contributed. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Great event.
Heartfelt event. And all the speakers all had different perspectives, different stories that they were able to share about Steve. I didn't overlap with Steve much, but I've heard a lot about him. I feel like I know him. So yeah, no, fantastic event and very well executed.
Yeah, it was incredible. And it really did capture Steve in a really, I think, authentic way.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Next, we have item 63.
Here comes Matt
Hey, Matt.
with the damn puns.
All right, number 63. We're just here to make sure everything is damn fine. Oh, we had I just want to give props to Omar for that. I can't. He sent me an email and said, "What do you think about this title?" I'm like, "Sure, let's go for it." Props to Omar. So staff conducted, along with the Department of Water Resources, Division of Safety of Dams, we had our annual inspection. We're not sure what time of the year we're going to get the inspection. It's either between May or after July 1st. So we actually had it in June. So they call on schedule, we get a week's notice, and they come do about a 4-hour inspection. So within that inspection, we exercise the 24-inch blow-off valve, which is located down by Conejo Pump Station. And that can be used as an emergency discharge valve for the lake. Or if we isolate the lake inlet tower valves, it can discharge from there to Conejo Pump Station. So we also exercise the 4 of the 5 48-inch butterfly valves at the lake inlet tower. And we do that on an annual basis, and we keep records of that to show the inspector that comes out that we are actually exercising them. And then he actually has us do a full open, full close on each of the valves. We also perform a walkthrough on the inspections of dikes 1 through 6 and the main dam to check for vegetation growth and any erosion. And we're physically walking the lake roads, top tier, middle tier, and bottom tier with the inspector, and he's pointing out anything if he sees anything. And then we also check dike 1, main dam, and dike 6 for seepage. And then we conduct a spillway inspection, and that's mainly just vegetation growth within. And then although the final report takes several weeks to get here, we received a verbal that there was nothing to be addressed. So everything was okay. We'll wait for the final report.
Good stuff. Thanks, Matt. Do we have a question, Director Quady?
Yeah, did they give you a heads up much on which things they're gonna target? I mean,
It's usually the same things every year. What they target is it's the same checklist that. Yeah, so at least we know what they're going to inspect, so we always prepare. We just don't know exactly what time of the year they're gonna come.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Nice job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, up next, we have number 8.
Good evening, President Avila and directors. I'm here to present on the operational readiness showcase for public safety power shutoffs that Southern California Edison hosted. It was at their Business Resiliency Center and Energy Education Center, where their Emergency Operations Center is also located in Irwindale. And during the showcase, they highlighted PSPS execution, or some might say lack thereof, from initial weather forecasting and outage projections to field operations and physical observation in the field. So that included an overview of their typical communications during an incident, initial outage projections, those advanced initial notifications that we receive, all the way through imminent outage notifications, actual outage notifications, and restoration. They did exhibit infrastructure. So that included old wooden poles with uncovered conductor and the hardened infrastructure that they're starting to install throughout some of the higher fire risks in their service area. One thing that was really impressive is their drone program. They're using an entire fleet of drones to conduct inspections and also to respond to actual incidents. So they have pre-deployed drones that they can put up in the air and respond if they get a report of a down line or something in the field.
That like what the sheriff is doing down the.
Similar, yeah. But with Edison's infrastructure, they're in a lot of hard to reach areas. So it provides them another tool, another resource to observe what's actually happening in the field. Lastly, they did provide an update on expectations for this fire season, for the upcoming PSPS season. We did have some early rains in the winter during the wet season. It's been a warmer, drier spring. So they are projecting increased PSPS activity and wildfires. Despite all the tools and resources that they have invested, we have still experienced a significant amount of PSPS events and power outages. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments from the board? I do have one. When I was at Aqua, there was the dip tank people. They mentioned that Edison had asked them to put a proposal together for the county of Ventura. Did they mention that at all?
They did not touch on that during this workshop. It was an event for cities, counties, emergency management agencies. It wasn't specific to water.
Oh, got it. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have number 109.
All right, number 109, geeking out over cameras, AI, and smarter security. This was a event that was held down at Dodger Stadium. It was put on by Motorola with their new Avigilon series of cameras and ecosystem that they are now pushing with. We got hooked up in Motorola with some of the cameras that we have just recently started purchasing for replacements here at Lake Barton. And that was Pelco was the original manufacturers of them. They got bought up by Motorola. And so that's how we had gotten in touch with them. As we are looking for moving forward with security projects at remote facilities, even improvements here on this facility, trying to understand what's out there and understand what is available is the key to making sure that we make a better selection going forward. So one of the key things that I want to put here is that, is the second bullet item up here is that there's a large benefit from choosing one ecosystem. And how they all label their ecosystems is that it becomes one pane of glass. So instead of having, this application and this system running cameras and this application and this system running door security and gates and another one that's running remote facilities, it all comes into one unified box that makes everything more manageable for staff when we start investing in security upgrades. So it's definitely something that's important for us. And the innovation on this has definitely been increasing drastically in the space. There used to be only a couple of people in the space that we're really moving forward with. And as we have been branching out and realizing that there's a lot of them out there. So we're trying to make a more educated decision as we move forward with these projects.
Good stuff. Questions, comments?
Wow.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the effort.
Yeah.
We're looking at laser beams. They don't have to be attached to shore.
Laser cannons?
Another confirm.
I confirm we're doing it.
So there's a chance. All right, thank you, Wes. All right, up next, we have item 48.
Is there one other question on MSR from someone?
Yeah, it was 48.
Yeah, this item is for our engineering. This is the ASR Wellfield solar project. When do you expect this project to be completed?
Excuse me, in order to be, to qualify for all the incentives, the project is to be completed by December 31st of 2027. So that is our target.
27.
Yes. End of next year,
Excellent, okay.
But we expect to bring the award of the contract to the board
August 5th.
fairly soon.
Yes.
Yeah, what I read is you were able to get the second grant. Previously, only one application was accepted. Now the second one is accepted.
It has been accepted.
Money, we are moving forward, so we still have to go out and award the contract.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. All right, if there are no other questions on the MSR, we will be moving on to the May 2026 financial statements. Dan Smith.
All right, good evening, directors, again. Today, we're going to talk about the May 2026 financial statements. Starting with the water sales, we are really close to being right on target for the 75,000 acre feet. We're within 800 acre feet through May. I haven't seen the June numbers yet since it is just July 1st. We'll be reporting on them at the next meeting. Because we're so close, the actual water revenues net of the costs are actually right on as well. So it's what we would like to see if we were, since we're right on budget. So we've gotten $38.7 million in revenues after the cost for the sale of the water. So some savings that we are seeing here is that, especially with the admin expenses, there's close to $3 million that we haven't spent through the admin expenses. So that's helping us out for the expense side. Taxes and interest continues to be doing very well. We're actually additional $4 million there. Most of that's on the interest side. There's a little bit on the property tax side as well. So together, that's like $7 million in extra revenues and savings that we have identified through the month of May. So that's the reason that our operating income is about $7 million ahead of where we thought it would be at this time of the year. So overall, for the fiscal year, we're looking very healthy. So I expect us to end June very healthy as well. And principal and interest continues to be pretty close to on track. The interest is less than we anticipated because we're guessing at that variable rate, and we try to guess a little bit higher just in case the interest rates do go up during the year. Looking at the pumping power expense, you can see that the pumping power for the expense side is about $600,000 above what we had budgeted. I'm still taking a look at all the expenses for the pumping power, and I should be coming back with some information here shortly. The revenue is also a little bit higher, which does correlate with the higher pumping costs that we're seeing from Edison. We are getting some of that back. We don't recover all of it back, but we do recover some of the pumping to get out to the different agencies. And the utility power is showing us a little bit above where we should be for the budget. I've been identified through this process of looking at the pumping. I think there's some pumping charges sitting in that utility power that we will be moving out by the end of this year, making it getting close to where we're actually right on budget for the utility power. Looking overall, I did adjust these numbers for the utility power as I did see it. So you can see that I changed the amount down to 155,000 with a budget of 160,000. So we would be typically a little bit higher than budget at 97.4%. And typically we're at 94% for the year. So really the utility power is coming in right where we thought it would be. The other two we just kind of discussed, the pumping power revenues. We are above budget. We're at 102% for the year. And we're typically at 90%, but the pumping power expense, which is the bigger number, we're at 127%. And typically we're at about 95% for right now. When looking at the month of May in general, you can see that it's showing that we had a little bit under budget, about $2 million. That really has to do with the property tax. I don't remember from last month when I talked about the property taxes. We were over by about $2 million because we got all the money in the month of April, and I had kind of split the budget into the 2 months, hedging my bets as to which month it would come in. Either way, I was gonna kind of win one, lose one. This is the loser month. But last month we did have an extra $2 million, so that kind of offsets this decrease. So overall for the month, we were pretty close to where we thought we would be once you add that $2 million back in. And then finally, just to kind of give you a snapshot of the cash balances, you can see that we did spend a little bit of extra money. We dropped down by about 500,000, but that's really reflective of some of the market changes that are happening in the investments, because these balances reflect market value, not just actual purchasing of the investments. But either way, we're sitting over about $200 million in investments at this time. All right. Looking at the ratios, you can see that we do have, most of these ratios didn't really change very much because we had a pretty much even month. So there's not really any increase or decrease. The current ratio is still at about 8, which is very strong. Same with the quick ratio. When you take inventory out of the equation, it's still at almost 6 times what we need to have. And the debt ratio did not change at all. We are still looking very strong on our debt service coverage. We're close to 3. I'm looking at a 2.44 for the budget. So I think we're going to be very healthy when it gets to the end of the year. And when we start looking at having to do maybe some bond issues for next year, we're going to be well into the 2s going into that process. So that's going to be very good for us. And that's really all I have for this time. Are there any questions on the financial statements?
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate your update. All right, up next, general counsel report.
Nothing to report. We do have a closed session tonight.
Okay. Up next, we have a committee meeting report. We've on committee, so the ad hoc housing committee. Yep.
We had an ad hoc staff housing committee. Staff brought to the committee conclusions to all the requests that had been presented before. Forward, great presentation. I will let Fernando jump in on the specifics.
I want to point out that we did have a nice success based off of the recommendation from the committee, and that was doing the houses in the three phases rather than separate contracts, and we're gonna end up saving about $35,000. So
yeah, I think there's that and the logistical benefit of not having to go outside for accommodations for staff. There's kind of a hot potato kind of thing where rehab one house, move staff into it, and then rehab the other 2 houses, so that there isn't a need to go out and find offsite accommodations, which gives you the benefit of staff stays on site, lower cost, and contractually, I think there may be some benefits as far as signing a contract early on. I'll let you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Director Robert. So yes, the ad hoc committee received a quick update on the journey we've had over the last year or so, from discussing the various alternatives that were investigated to replace the existing homes. Ultimately, the ad hoc committee recommended to the board that the houses be replaced with manufactured homes. The board approved a capital project budget of $20,000 earlier this year to prepare bid documents. And the plan was to come back to the board at a later date with the next step, which would be to allocate capital project budget for construction, and that will happen here subsequently. But one of the things that was highlighted during the meeting on Monday was a decision to move from a stick-built garage to a pre-engineered metal building garage, which was included several benefits making that change, because you have a metal building which is inherently more fire resistant. It also goes up quicker on site. It requires less prevailing wage labor on site. So there are associated cost savings going that route. The committee ultimately agreed with coming back to the board at the July 15th board meeting, requesting approving capital project budget allocation for construction of all 3 homes, as Director or President Avila described, a single contract for all 3 house replacements with a budget of $2.25 million. And also approve the bid documents at that time. So those will be the next steps.
And to bring cost benefit analysis with our fantastic Dan Smith heading up the brief on that. And I would request that you bring back this presentation as well to go over with the board before they consider making a decision.
Absolutely.
Another important thing to note was you mentioned the timeline. So it looks like all three houses would be done and installed and completed in about a year and a half, year to year and a half
After contract award.
after contract award.
What are you going to do with the original homes? Are they going to sell them or are you going to demo them?
They're gonna demo.
They would be demolished and taken to the landfill.
Meanwhile, how is staff faring? Kind of a tough housing thing there, right?
Yes, current tenants, there was an update provided to the committee that one of our two tenants is planning to retire and house one will become vacant in a short time period. And we are making plans to retrofit the house temporarily for somebody to live in house one until that house is replaced.
Oh, you mentioned
Housing didn't advance his retirement, did it?
He's been here 30 years. I think he felt it was retired.
and you guys mentioned that somebody is going to be staying here temporarily over by house 3.
That's correct.
Yeah, Wes is taking a well-deserved vacation and he's the sole remaining tenant. So David Hernandez, the assistant operations supervisor, will be stepping in and spending some time camping here on the premises in an RV.
It looks like a committee has done a great job of looking for savings in different areas. Thank you. One question for engineering staff is who is the record? Last time, one of you were going to your PE stamp. Who used the PE stamp for these drawings?
So this is a performance specification. We are requiring the contractor to hire a PE.
Oh, you are?
Submit the
I thought you were writing the specs.
seal and stamp.
We're writing performance specs.
Oh, only performance specs, okay.
I should say we have written performance specs. They are complete.
So it'll be a submittal requirement by the contractor to submit those drawings signed and sealed by a registered engineer.
All right, thank you.
Good progress. Thank you. Up next, we have director's list of admin code reimbursable meetings. Director Quady, would you like to kick it off?
Okay, since the last meeting, I was able to, after the Canal Valley Future Foundation meeting, I was able to catch the tail end of the WaterWise Sandy Fire emergency response. So I didn't make the whole thing, but I was able to be there long enough. And then the Aqua Region 8 event on June 26th and tonight's board meeting.
Director McCollum.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two reports. One is the Calleguas meetings. There are 6 of them. And also Metropolitan, 3 of them. On June 18th, I attended Waterwork District Number 1 Advisory Committee meeting in Moore Park. June 19th, Sleeve Boys dedication. June 24th, GMA board meeting. June 25th, Calleguas Purveyors meeting. June 26th, ACW Region 8 AI Water Management in Pasadena, along with some of you and our staff. And today's board meeting. Oh, I also have Metropolitan. There are 3 meetings. June 8th, Monday, MWD committee meetings. June 15th, Monday, oath-taking ceremony at the Metropolitan office. June 23rd, Tuesday, special committee on agriculture and tribal partnership meeting, followed by special joint meeting of the executive committee and board of directors. After all these meetings, I also had director report meetings with 4 staff members, General Manager Shivaji, and also General Auditor Scott Suzuki, and Ethics Officer Abel Salinas, Board Executive Secretary Rikita Hudson. And Metropolitan staff has been very thorough with all of the information they gave me. They gave me lots of information, very good orientation. I was talking to Jackie, I guess when she took on, it wasn't as robust.
Gave me a key and a card.
The staff was they even showed me where I'm supposed to park. And it was very, very nice. And Miss Hudson also gave me an annual calendar. I thought that calendar was very good. I just want to give you a copy of what I got. And this is something will be very useful for me if our staff can do it for us, or at least for me. Here is a copy of the annual calendar for all the board meetings that Metropolitan has. It also has the holidays in it. I think it's very useful for me. That will help me with my annual planning for entire year, especially, hopefully it will help some of you too. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Are
you saying you'd want to do this for like our committee meetings?
And we won't know the committees far enough in advance for that.
Yeah. I was going to bring it up, but I had to go someplace else. We can talk next.
Dr. Robert?
Since the last board meeting I attended on the June 8th, the Metropolitan Engineering Operations Committee, June 9th, Metropolitan Water Board of Directors meetings, on the 15th, Port Hueneme City Council meeting, 16th, Oxnard City Council meeting, 17th, I viewed our board meeting virtually. On the 23rd, Metropolitan's Committee on Ag and Tribal Partnerships. That was an interesting one. And on the 29th, Staff Housing Committee, and on the 30th, Oxnard's City Council meeting.
Director McMillan?
Yes, on June 18th, I attended CSDA's Trademarks and Trends webinar. On the 19th, the BLOS dedication. The 23rd, MWD Executive Committee via Zoom. The 24th, Camarillo City Council via Zoom. 25th, the purveyor meeting at Calleguas. 29th, MWD's LRP briefing via Zoom. And the 30th, the West Ventura County Business Alliance's ribbon cutting in Camarillo, and tonight's board meeting.
Thank you, Director McMillan. Lastly, for myself, since the last board meeting, I attended the Blois dedication event at the emergency generator wellfield facility. I believe it was, I don't remember the date, I didn't write it down. I think it was on the 23rd. I went to introduce Director Pacala at Metropolitan.
Yes.
To the Met Board.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
On the 24th, I had the Simi Valley Chamber of Commerce Legislative Affairs. On the 26th, I had the Region 8 Aqua Pasadena event. On the 29th, the Ad Hoc Housing Committee. On the 30th, yesterday, General Manager and I had a meeting with Camarosa with Jean and Norm.
Yeah, Norm Huff, the general manager, and Jean West, a longtime board member.
So another very successful meeting with one of our purveyors. They were very happy. And they expressed that to Christina in an email afterwards, saying that if they had this kind of relationship with everyone else, they would be in a better place. So very encouraged by these meetings, the way they've been going, and at this point they've been so successful, and all our purveyors have been so happy with them that I hope to make it an annual thing. Once a year we meet with the general manager and their board chair or whoever else, and keep those relationships strong. And lastly, tonight's board meeting.
Thank you, everyone. Forgot to put the Boys dedication event on my list.
Okay. Thank you. Up next, we have a discussion regarding upcoming meetings to be attended by the board.
Could I just highlight a few things?
Yes, please.
So at the next meeting, board meeting on the 15th, we will have a presentation on total maximum daily loads, or TMDLs, that Director Pacala previously requested, as well as an update on the Delta Conveyance Project from Environmental Programs Manager Carrie Buckman. I will be asking Kara, now that we have the committee sorted, to schedule a finance committee meeting to talk about the sponsorships. This was something that the board had requested during the budget process, to revisit maybe not the total dollar amount for sponsorships, but how those sponsorships might best be allocated. I have received some additional requests in the last month, so that's quite timely. One of those requests was from Southern California Water Coalition, because they are coming back closer to us, not as close as the Reagan Library. But the July 31st meeting will be held in Northridge and on the CSUN campus. So they have asked us to contribute to that. The date is on the table in the packet. They haven't announced speakers yet, but I have been told that it will be focused on data centers and AI. So very, very timely topic.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anything else by the board?
Just one,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
just one meeting I want to make sure the director, Robert, is aware of. On July the 29th, it's the same day as Allah's barbecue. The West Ventura County Business Alliance is having a elected officials mixer. And since you and I both represent parts of Camarillo and Oxnard, thought you might want to attend.
I already RSVP'd.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Upcoming meetings, I just want to report that I'll be attending 3 Metropolitan Board meetings on July 7th, 13th, and 14th. I'm sorry, July 7th, a pre-strategy meeting for Calleguas, then Metropolitan, July 13th and 14th.
Thank you, Director Pacala. Do we have a request for future agenda items? Okay, lastly, board comments.
I'd like to make a comment in terms of, I attended on June 25th, the Aqua JPIA. That's not a Calleguas expense, but that was the workers' compensation program. And so we covered in past, and the executive board later approved the updates to the memorandum of coverage. And the reinsurance renewal continues with Safety National, effective July 1st. And then on the executive, well, what we did is a 7.5% increase to class code 7520, which is a waterworks operations. They were seeing more risk associated with that class of employment. And so they increased only that spot 7.5%. And so it gives it a rate of 4.15. And with all of the rates remaining unchanged for the workers' compensation program effective July 1st, 2026.
Any other board comments? Thank you, Director, for that update. Hey, information items. Any questions or comments on the information items? Coalition support letter to Chair Catherine. Great, and with that, thank you, everybody. I'm going to be closing the open session and opening the closed session. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting order. And with that, I am closing the closed session and reopening open session. And we have a report from council.
So as to the closed session matter on the agenda, the board received an update from council, provided direction to council, and no action was taken.
Great, thank you all. And with that, we are adjourned.